I don't like gang stuff.
I am not gang gang. You know what I'm saying? I do not gang gang.
I don't like gangs. I don't like conspiracy. I don't like the word Rico. Like none of that. So, you see the young boys say, you ain't got no body.
When did the relationship start to go south with 50?
You know, I was tolerating a lot of undesired energy.
Right.
With Boo Boo, I'm not even gonna call him 50. 50 was a street that basically said the street, but was still involved in the street and started rapping. You understand what I'm saying?
When it comes to standing on business, 50 been 10 toes down since day one, and his name still rings bells in hoods everywhere because unlike most artists who gotta pay gangs for security when they roll into certain areas, 50 don't pay nobody. That's right, no street tax, no extortion. And because of that, he's had beef with some real street figures. We talking big dogs with heavy influence like the Crips. And trust me, that's not something most rappers would dare try. And as 50 is getting older, he is opening up more about all his ops, especially why Crips are still scared of him. 50 Cent ain't no gangbanger. He's said it a million times, and it's been obvious from day one. He grew up in the streets of South Jamaica, Queens, but he never needed a gang to back him up.
You've always made early residents. I am not gang. I do not gang bang.
I do not like Rico. I do not like conspiracy. Keep both of those brothers away from me. These laws was designed to bring down the mafia. When you think crime,
Because you wasn't involved with what made it fall apart in the beginning. So, nah, we cool. You can play it out. He's a rapper, man. This is hip hop. In the heat of it, you actually got beef with the person.
At 19, he got locked up after getting caught selling to an undercover. The cops found a stash and a weapon, and that was his wake-up call. After that, he knew he had to leave the street life behind. But don't get it twisted, just because he walked away from that lifestyle doesn't mean he's not connected or respected.
50 was the type of dude, he was outside when he was 12 years old. You know, his mother and father, he didn't have too much knowledge of them. He had knowledge of his mother, but his father.
Enter Spider Loc, a full-time Crip who tried to start this whole G-Unit Crips movement. And out of loyalty, 50 and G-Unit tried to ride with him. They even let him bring like 100 Crips on stage during their performances. But this affiliation came with some serious drama. One show got straight up canceled because the crowd was full of Bloods. Y'all see the problem, right? And it didn't stop there. Spider Loc's music video shoots were getting shot up, rival gangs were pulling up, it was getting too dangerous out here. And 50 wasn't about to let all that mess up his business. So eventually, he had to cut Spider Loc loose.
You know, Buck really with, Spider Loc and the Crips in LA. You know me, I'm New York, so I don't really know LA politics.
And against my advice, he prompted the homies to take the stage with him, and he announced to the San Diego crowd something to the effect of, "What's wrong with this picture? I'm a New York with 100 Crips on stage."
And after things went left with G-Unit, Spider Loc didn't even stand up for himself. Word on the street is, he was so shook, he just dipped without a fight. That tells you everything you need to know about the power dynamic here. 50's never been scared to go head to head with the big dogs. Y'all remember Suge Knight, man who had everybody shook back in the day? Well, 50 wasn't one of them. When Suge Knight tried to press him early in his career, 50 stood his ground, and that's just facts. He even pulled up to the End of Club video shoot knowing Suge Knight was out here trying to intimidate him.
He showed up to in the club video shoot. He came, it was like, Suge's outside! Suge's outside! Everybody like, he was running, dropping shit, like, man, everybody going, I'm in front of the camera like this.
And let's not forget his legendary beef with Murder Inc. Back in 2000, 50 got stabbed outside the Hit Factory studio in New York, all because of his beef with Ja Rule and Murder Inc. One of their artists, Black Child, claimed it was self-defense, but we all know the case. 50 needed 3 stitches after that attack, but did he fall back? Nope, he doubled down and kept applying pressure.
History and our beef with 50 Cent, all I hear is say, well, if niggas tried to get me shot, or if niggas had something to do with getting me shot, or if niggas did this and that to me.
Like, he ran through the lobby, me and Ja chased him through the lobby and then the elevator doors just like closed just in time, but that's a whole nother story, you know what I mean?
50's petty game is undefeated too. Even when Irv Gotti recently passed away, 50 wasted no time clowning him. He posted a pic of himself smoking hookah next to a mock gravestone with the caption, "I'm smoking on that Gotti pack. Nah, God bless him, LOL. It's not just industry beef. 50 survived some real life attempts on his life. Remember the infamous 2000 shooting where he got hit 9 times? Most people wouldn't have made it out of that situation. situation, but 50 did. And instead of laying low after, he came back harder than ever. Then there's his fallout with Bang'em Smurf, one of his former day ones. Things got so heated between them that by Summer Jam 2004, Smurf and his crew pulled up front row just to taunt 50. And what did 50 do? He straight up respected them by throwing cash and water at him. But
Smurf? Smurf, yeah. Yeah, look. That's my baby. You understand what I'm saying? Smurf is my baby boy.
Well, that's how y'all giving it up. That ain't tossing me up in here, so I jumped back over the barricade and so I started throwing chairs. I see bitches' shoes on the floor. We throwing shoes like.
The most dangerous beef 50 had, that was with Jimmy Henchman. Now, if you know Henchman's rep, you know he's not the one to mess with. It all popped off in 2005 when 50 dropped the game from G Unit. Henchman, who was managing Game at the time, took that real personal. The situation escalated fast, arguments, threats, and eventually violence.
And you think your relationship is repairable?
I don't know what really caused it, Biggs. I don't try to patch relationships, friendship.
In 2007, things got even more serious when G Unit members Tony Yayo and Lodi Mac allegedly jumped Henchman's 14-year-old son. That set off a whole new level of beef. A few weeks after Lodi Mac got out of prison, he was gunned down, and many people believe it was a revenge hit orchestrated by Henchman.
Yeah, no, you can't do an interview inside of Hot 97.
Right.
Because I think it was like that building was part of like some...
It was Viacom or something.
Oh, no, it wasn't Viacom. It was like part of like some union or something.
Oh, yeah.
Henchman eventually got convicted for commissioning the hit on Lodi Mac and was sentenced to life plus 20 years. But even after all that, the story stayed messy. His conviction got overturned in 2016, keeping his name tied to street drama. And let's not forget Henchman's alleged connection to the 1994 shooting of Tupac Shakur at Quad Studios.
On the paperwork, and Henchman and them supposed to come through, and I guess they gun jammed, but we had God on that side, and they backed out on the hit. But listen, at the end of the day, when the kid got slapped, right? It's all fair and war. You already know what's gonna go.
Yeah.
So why should the Crips or anyone else be scared of 50 Cent? Well, if you ask him, he believes he's proven time and time again that he's untouchable. He's gone up against the most dangerous and influential people in the game and always comes out on top. Whether it's industry beef, street drama, or full-on attempts on his life, 50's never backed down. He don't pay for protection. He don't bow down to nobody. And most importantly, he's got the resources, the connections, and the fearlessness to handle whatever comes his way. That's why his name still rings bells. That's why even the Crips got to think twice before crossing him. And the people agree, 50 ain't to be played with, saying things like, when you die and come back, it changes you. And 50 did what he does best, looks out for himself. But what do y'all think? Do you think 50 Cent's fearlessness keeps him on top, or is it his connections? Was cutting off Spider Loc and the G Unit Crips the right move, or was it disloyal? Should more artists follow 50's lead and stop paying street tax, or is that too risky? I want to hear all your thoughts, so drop those comments down below. And you already know the vibes. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe, and turn those post notifications on so you never miss the action.